It's the Chris Miles Show, giving you a logical perspective, an intelligent point of view. The full 411. Live from LA, it's the Chris Miles Show with your host, Chris Miles.
Hey, what's going on, people? How is everybody? Or should I say, what's happening, family? Either way, we are here this morning. It's like really early in the morning. I am up doing the Chris Miles Show. I had something on my chest that I seriously needed to get off. And I said, you know what? Instead of waiting later in the week, why not do it the first day of the week? So I'm here by the grace of the good Lord, who has actually given me another day on this side of the highway. Like I say, this is a special show. This is episode 39 of the Chris Miles Show. I'm going to try to come with some good energy. This show will be very laconic. So in other words, the laconic means short and brief and to the point. So I'm going to try to keep everything within the guidelines of how I've actually set this to go. So what I'm actually talking about is cancer culture and Tommy Tubberville. Now, granted, like I said, we just actually got the show back up on the road here last week after many months of contemplating how we were going to do this. And when we got ready to come back with the show, we had all type of difficulties, technical difficulties, which will come in this line of work, in this business. So we think we've gotten everything worked out at this point. So it's a go. And let me just say this before I go into the dialogue this morning. We are going to start televising the program. Right now, it's we're just doing primarily audio, but we will start to televise it. And also we will start advertising campaigns. So that if that simply means if you have something that you would like to advertise, you can reach out to us via email, and we will give the phone number at a later time and date so that you can contact us at the Chris Miles Show and get your content that you want to advertise on the program. So we are doing major numbers, and we are getting results with this program. So I'm very excited about all of the things that we are moving forward on. And the good thing about this is when there is an issue or something comes up, we can deal with it right then and there. I ain't got to wait a week or two down the line. I can deal with it right as it happens. So let me just do this too. Let me go on and give out the social media handles. If you are on TikTok, you can find me at the @ I'm Chris Miles. Once again, TikTok is @ I'm Chris Miles. If you are on Twitter, you can find me the @ I'm Chris Miles. Okay? Once again, Twitter is the @ I'm Chris Miles. If you are on Instagram and Facebook, it's the @ I am Chris Miles. Once again, Facebook and Instagram is the @ I am Chris Miles. Now, let me just put something else out there moving forward. Yesterday, I had posted something on TikTok. And, you know, it's for me, it's I would say it's funny because I know the powers to be are watching me. They're really concerned about me. And I'm a fucking nobody. You understand? They have set up this conduit to keep the algorithms from communicating with my content. And I know they have done this. I know that they have placed blocks in place to keep the algorithms from networking with my content. All of that being said, I had posted something. George Carlin. It's one of the old shows. He would actually talk. He was on Bill Maher's when Bill Maher was back on ABC. And he was actually talking about in the way of how society was headed and going, how they would come up with this notion of basically you had like the various energy companies. You had like 7 and they were going to cut them down to like 3. You would have like 100 banks and it would only be 2. Everything was going up under this, basically this new world order. The currency that we use would change. Everything that we've known, that we've had for our existence out here in life would change. So there was not anything aggressive or bad about what he was saying. Of course, quite naturally, he had this coon on here. I don't even remember what the Negro name was that came up and said some shit that was contrary to it. But Carlin handled it like a professional. And he, you know, I like to say the N word, but this bastard, this black dude that was on there, basically, you know, Carlin shortened him quick. He kept it laconic, basically, to the point, and he made him look like a goddamn fool. But the reason I posted it, because it's so relevant in today's time and era. Well, anyway, on TikTok, some son of a bitch reported this particular video. There was no superfluitive language in it. There was no nothing gratuitous about it, nothing bad whatsoever. And it got reported and they flagged my account. And I have an account warning on my account to suspend my account. Now, what I find interesting about that is I'm going to go in maybe today, because after the shit happened, I went back and I took the content, took some stills, combined them, and posted the content on the show, and I talked over it, just to basically show the people that I was being targeted either by a hater or by some government official agent out there that wants to conceal what it is that I'm doing, or to silence me, either by that or to kill me. And I know that's what this is because, like I said before, I was actually targeted by the feds and sent to prison. But it's a whole different light now with the shit that I do know. I promise you, trust me, it's a different goddamn light now. Okay? It's a whole different phenomenon at this point. But I say all of that to simply say this. When you're out here doing the work that the Lord has put in your spirit to do, you're going to get opposition. This happened from all of God's prophets. All of his prophets. Whenever they whenever they were out there doing the work, they got some form of opposition, and they were eventually killed. Now, I'm not saying that I'm looking for that to be my demise, but one thing I am saying is that I have no fear in me. So, to whatever motherfucker out there thinking that you're going to intimidate me or that this shit is what it was before, you got another fucking thing coming. I promise you that. So, anyway, I just wanted to get that little piece off of my chest about the shit that happened on TikTok. Because before, I had got, and I'm going to post the information. I had 1.2 million followers on TikTok, and TikTok suspended my shit. I lost that. So I'm at the rebuilding point now. I initially had 77 followers on there with the content, with my content and other content that I put on there. They call it content creator. That's some new fucking lingo shit that they've come up with. So I guess I'm a content creator. Anyway, I get to 77 and these motherfuckers are already targeting my shit to get me completely, to try to silence me. So I just find all that shit interesting. You know, I really, truly do. But guess what? I'm not stopping. Let's go into today's show. Okay. Now, the topics that we're actually talking about this morning is cancel culture. Cancel culture. It should be called cancer. Like, we all know how cancer works, but it's called cancel culture. One and the same. Cancel and cancer culture. All right. So, what I find interesting, and I'm back on the shit with Kanye West. Kanye West initially came out with the White Lives Matter shirt on. And I had a fucking problem with that because not ever has white people's lives in the United States or wherever they are in the world not mattered. They should always matter. We are the people not desired. We are the people that's hated out here. And I'm talking about black and brown people, but specifically black people. We are the ones that's targeted and eliminated. And like I was talking about coming into the show this morning, how even when you're trying to do something constructive and positive to change the dynamics of a situation pertaining to your people, you are targeted and eventually silenced. So I go back to the point of Kanye West, and we're going to play a clip of something that he said on Piers Morgan. Now, in due respect to all of the stuff that is actually going on, Kanye West has the entire Jewish community in a fucking uproar. This motherfucker, Michael Rappaport, has come out, and I've been trying to engage Michael Rappaport. I've sent messages his way. He won't fucking engage me. But then I ain't Kanye West either. You understand? So the whole point is, I know why he won't. He's seeing my content. He's getting my content. They all do. When you reach out to these celebrities, you do the @ symbol and their name, hashtag, they go read that shit. They see it. I know this for a fact because Kenny Glasgow, who's Al Sharpton's brother, I had a friend down in Montgomery, Alabama, that I used to do activism work with. And he was fucking with Al Sharpton every fucking day. He was at Al's ass about just different shit Al was putting out there and keeping this conundrum of this shit that Martin Luther King gave black people. And it has not changed nothing for black people. Not one iota. The dynamics of anything has not changed. We are still, matter of fact, we're worse off now than we were then. And the reason being is for the simple fact of we have the informational highway. We have the internet. We have social media. And shit's worse off today than it was then. They did more with less, and we have more and we do less with it, if that makes any sense. But nevertheless, Al Sharpton reached out to his brother, Kenny Glasgow, like, who is this person down in Montgomery, Alabama that's constantly bothering me? And the person was, like I said, was a friend of mine, a guy by the name of Willie Knight, who's a minister. He was at Al Sharpton every day. So Al reached out to his brother Kenny, and Kenny called me. He said, "Hey man, what is your friend Willie Knight's problem? Like, why is he at my brother like this?" And I said, "Man, I don't know, man. I haven't talked to him, but I will talk to him, and we'll try to make some sense out of it." He said, "Yeah, you do that, because at this point, I want to kick him in his ass." Okay. So, with that being said, I reached out to Bruh Knight, and I told him. He laughed about it. We both chuckled about it. But anyway, it you know, the content that he was putting out there on Al, he eventually stopped, and it went away pretty quick, fast, and hurt. But I say all of that because I want everybody to know that these people who we see on television, or we've seen on television, or in the media to some degree, they read the content that you put out there. Excuse me. So I know for a fact that Michael Rappaport is seeing and reading my content, and the man at the ADL, which brings me to my point here. They have all of these companies out here. All of these companies out here that is controlled and ran by the Jewish elite are now saying to cancel Kanye West. I find all of that interesting because with all of the things that have gone on in the black community and people have said shit about the black community, no one, the Jewish community, the ADL, none of these NAACP, which is powerless at this point, nobody has come out and said to cancel these certain individuals. One of the person that I would love to see get canceled is that stinky bitch, Candace Owens. I would love to see her get, and she's a black woman. But the point is what I'm saying is cancel culture only works against black people. Okay? And this within itself should tell black people something like, what is it about us that the world is worried about? I mean, take a minute to think about in its entirety what I am actually saying and the question that I'm proposing at this point. What is it about black people that makes the world so concerned? Like, they are in an uproar because of, quote, the word DEFCON. Kanye West say, I'm going to go DEFCON on the Jewish community. Now, let's do this. There's like 3 definitions for the word DEFCON. All right. So I'm actually trying to, bear with me for a second. Okay. As everybody should know, the word DEFCON, okay? DEFCON. Sorry about that. The word DEFCON is simply a term of readiness or to be prepared. Now, in the aspect of the way Kanye West was saying it or illustrating it, was not mentioned in a sense of how or people took it out of its proper context. Understand something. There's a game out there that kids play called DEFCON. All right. The United States government used the term DEFCON. Okay, let me give the definition for DEFCON. The defense readiness condition is an alert state used by the United States. Let me go back. Now I'm quoting this, what you hear, the word DEFCON. Okay? DEFCON, the defense readiness condition, is an alert state used by the United States Armed Forces. So, you hear, according to their definition, what the term DEFCON means. So, what is this really about? Huh? What is this really about, people? I want you all to think about the question that I'm asking you right now. What the fuck is this really about? Why is it that they are centering everything around the term DEFCON? Now, this is the thing. The word DEFCON simply means an alert readiness that the United States use. At any given time, you could hear that term again because the United States is at a technical war right now with Russia. From my understanding, there's three parts to the word DEFCON. It simply means it's an alert readiness. So by Kanye West saying this, was he wishing death on the Jewish community? No, that's impossible. And that's impossible according to the term DEFCON, what the meaning. Once again, let me read it again. The defense readiness condition is an alert state used by the United States Armed Forces. Now, so we're trying to bring clarity to that matter. That's what we're doing. So once again, what is this shit really about? Is it about DEFCON, or is it about Kanye West coming out telling black people who they are? For the ones that don't know or have no fucking idea, is that what it's about? So is it that we have to silence these people or silence Kanye West so we can keep this lie propagated and going? So black people can't wake the fuck up and understand that they are the people the Bible is all about. The shit that's going on out here in society, black folks, black and brown people. And I'm talking about the so-called blacks or so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All of this shit out here turning is simply about you. You have a race of people in the fucking earth has gathered, colonized, and conquered through imperialism and colonization and went throughout the fucking earth and stole shit and stole your goddamn identity and told you that you was either a color or two fucking continents named by white men. And that's all you need to know. All along, they created wealth off of the fact of claiming to be something in that. They can't be that because, according to God, they are Edomites. And this is the secret that they don't want you to fucking know out here. And this is why my accounts get fucking targeted on TikTok, which is supposed to be set up in China some goddamn where. And I constantly get suspended on these other American platforms. I've been doing this shit 20 years or better. I've known this shit. I've been putting it out. And the algorithms ain't never fucked with me. And it's all by design, people. That's the fuck what people have to understand. This shit is by design. So the point is, when you start putting out tangible information, we can't fuck with you. You have a guy by the name of Ariel Emanuel, Jewish guy. One of the most Influential people in Hollywood has called on all companies to cut business ties with Kanye West, including Apple, Spotify, and Adidas. And I have a contract with Apple and Spotify. So, is this about the DEF CON comment, or is it about Kanye West telling black people who they are? And this is the thing, people. This is the thing. People do not understand how God works. Because at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, black folks, brown folks, it's probably time we need to separate from this bullshit, man. Because we see the direction in which the shit is going. And the fact of the matter is, when a person is tired, they're tired. Okay? So I will say this. Some of the things that Kanye West has done has been over the top. I am not defending that. By no stretch of anybody's imagination am I defending the fuck shit that he's done or some of the fuck shit he has said. And I think a lot of that shit has come because he's had people around him like that stinking ghetto gaggler bitch, Candace Owens. And that's what that White Lives Matter shit was about. So George Floyd family members, you all are lining up to sue Kanye West. Do what you do. But in the process, Candace Owens has a goddamn documentary out that she's making money defaming the legacy of George Floyd. And his daughter has to see that. And I've said it then, and I'm saying it now, that stinking ass, low-lifed, no good for nothing, ghetto gaggling bitch, Candace Owens, is an evil fucking woman. And if anybody needs to counsel somebody, that bitch needs to be fucking counseled. She needs to be counseled. And on the Chris Miles show, this is what people appreciate, is that the shit that I put out there are facts. It ain't my opinion, it's the fucking facts. And one thing about truth don't give a fuck about anybody's feelings. That's what you got to understand. And the point is, when black folks come out or somebody of color come out and say something, they account. Same thing that happened with Dave Chappelle. You had the LGBT community come out and say, we got to cancel him. All along, the LGBTQ community came out and forced Netflix to not put their acronym on a man that was a part of the LGBTQ community that was going around here eating black folks. That's Jeffrey Dahmer. So what the fuck is this about? What is this? What's going on out here? What is it? It ain't black people. It's not about the aspect of being entertained. It's about the fact you waking the fuck up and understand and seeing what this shit is. This is why I'm the king of podcast. I'm the king at this shit because I'm going to give you the fucking raw deal of what the fact of what's going on out here. I ain't finna go out here and apologize. I went to federal prison. I can give a fuck about how somebody think and feel about what the fuck I got to say. But I'm still angry about that shit. I ain't killed nobody. I ain't sold no dope. I ain't robbed nobody. I ain't defrauded nobody. I went because you had racist motherfuckers attached to the goddamn Southern District of the FBI. I'm calling in, talking on radio shows, and even some of the black folks that they conspired with, that I knew that I fought to help them keep their goddamn jobs when the establishment was trying to terminate them, turned on me. These people came in and tried to murder my kids, my wife, my grandbabies. I don't forget that shit and I carry it. It's with me till I leave here. So that's why I do the shit that I do. I know your goddamn system. I know your system. I know the money that you use is fiat money. I know everything I need to fucking know about the stuff that you do out there. All of this shit that we got in America is a goddamn lie. From the history to the money to the educational system. The things that kids need to know, they're not taught in school. And I'm a former educator. And I say all of that because the fact of the matter is these are the things that we need to be asking questions about. Why is it that we're the ones that get canceled or something that's tangible gets canceled? All along, when you look on the internet, social media, all of the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you got bitches on there shaking their asses. They say, oh, well, you can't call the women bitches and hoes. And I don't condone that. But by the same stretch, people, this is what's propagated. Or something dealing with the LGBT community is propagated. It's put out there. But a man coming out telling black people, listen, the most dangerous place for a black child is in a black mother's womb. That's a fact. Black women have led other nationalities, ethnic groups in abortion. That is also by design. So it's wrong for Kanye West to say these things. So like I say, going back, this is why all of these people from Michael Rappaport, who's Jewish, to Ariel Emanuel and the man that's heading up to ADL. Let me get his name. Y'all bear with me. Jonathan Greenblatt. All of these folks are saying to cancel Kanye West. Now, to the ADL's credit, they actually have a fucking watch out here that they say is about watching anti-Semitic terminology going forward. I want you all to think about that. CNN, Wolf Blitzer, who's Jewish, they did a special on rhetoric, or what's deemed as rhetoric, going toward the Jewish community. These folks have a tracker. Yet black people who have lived in the horrors, came over on slave ship. A lot of them was here. Okay, remember in the last show I did, I talked about the transatlantic slave trade, and I talked about the northern tribes of Israel. The bloodline came over roughly 800 years before the southern tribes, who went into the interiors of Africa and were picked up by slave ships, which is documented in the Bible, in the scriptures, and brought over here. They were sold. First of all, black people, you're not Africans. So let's dismiss that bullshit there. You're not Africans. But you were sold by the Africans to the Edomites, or the ones who are calling themselves Jews. And you were brought over here and forced into slavery then and now, because slavery still exists. It ain't gone this year. And these people, the ADL, and all of these motherfuckers who want to cancel Kanye West, have a goddamn tracker out there to watch anti-Semitism. Now, let me say this. A person I challenge everybody that's listening to my voice right now or who will hear this show. I want you to go look up the word anti-Semitism, because to be a Semite, a Shemite, means to be a person of color. That's what that term means. It means to be a person of color. So how could Ye or any black person who wants to wake their people up and tell their people you are the bloodline, according to scriptures, antiquity, geology, you are that people? What Kanye West is saying. How could you be anti-Semitic? It's impossible. But they have to cancel you because of that reason. So I'm just saying this in closing on this topic. Black people, you need to do the research and understand what this shit is. Because you are clueless. And these people, the establishment, they are at war with you. And you see constantly the dynamics of all of this shit changing. They're trying to go to the moon, and you're trying to find equality. Something is wrong. Now, oh, you know what? Let me do this. Before I transition. I'm angry. But rightfully so.
First of all, I am Jew also. The 12 lost tribes of Hebrew. Do the math. Do your research on it. We have got our culture ripped from us and then told we were just simply void of color, which is another definition for black. But if we knew we were a culture and knew we were a people, the way the Jewish people know, then we wouldn't abort ourselves. We wouldn't shoot each other dead in the streets and then rap about it. We wouldn't brag about, having sex with each other's wives. We would keep our families together and we would do business together. The most dangerous place for a black person in America is actually in our mother's stomachs. Because 50% of black deaths a year in America is abortion currently. I mean, I can keep going, but I want to make it, hey, boom.
So, I asked the question on all of these black celebrities, from P. Diddy to Trevor Noah, and all these other people are painting this man, Kanye West, to be mentally ill or mentally disturbed. What is wrong with what he said? What is wrong with that? Because he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He told the absolute truth according to what God has, the order God has set up in the earth. That you black folks are that people. And you have a race of people who's not that people, who set up watches to make sure that that information doesn't come out so they can perpetuate this lie and keep you in slavery. That's what this shit is about. Slavery, black people, in closing on this subject matter. We're talking about cancel culture. Slavery today is financial. Once again, black people and brown people. I'm talking to black and brown people. Slavery is finance. All of the black people that you see who have been propped up and live in a certain echelon in life, they've done certain things to get there. And this is why they have to side with the people who are painting Kanye West to be delusional. That's what this shit is. That's what this is. To be a slave mean financially you're ruined. The people who he's talking about, Ariel, Emmanuel, and all these other people out here who runs the establishment are not who they claim, but more than anything, they get paid off the destruction of your community. All along, you're walking the earth calling yourself two continents named after white people. And this is not an attack on the Jewish community. This is not an attack on white people. The truth has no feelings because the truth is the truth. And it comes a point in time where eventually the shit that I'm saying has to come a reality. That's what that is. And so that being said, we're going to we're going to go into the next dialogue. Now, this is a interesting conversation to have. I want to talk about Tommy Tubberville, who is the senator of the state of Alabama. Okay. He ran against Doug Jones, a man who got a conviction for the 4 girls that were killed in the Birmingham bombing. These people went out and got the state of Alabama, the racism there, elected a football coach. They elected a football coach over a man that got a conviction for some girls that had gone to church on Sunday that they put a bomb in the church in Birmingham. Doug Jones. Tommy Tubberville. So I want to talk about the racism out of the state of Alabama because I'm from Alabama. And I have to get this shit off my chest because I'm finna step on some goddamn toes at this point. And I'm finna piss somebody off and I don't give a fuck at this point. Who gets pissed off? But there's some shit that I need to say and it has to be said. And it's all about black people taking responsibility and waking the fuck up and realizing what is actually going on out here. So Tommy Tubberville, a coach that coached at Auburn University. You see on the image here, he's in his Auburn gear when he coached back at Auburn. You see the image of him on the Chris Miles show. He has on Auburn gear. Tommy Tubberville, who called black people criminals. And I'm going to play the clip in a moment. But I want you all to think about and let this resonate with you for a second. This motherfucker called black people criminals. Tommy Tubberville made millions of dollars off of the backs of black athletes. He was afforded a life of luxury off of the backs of black people, black athletes, who a lot of these kids come from abject poverty. And this motherfucker, Tommy Tubberville, had the capacity and the temerity to call black people fucking criminals. And this motherfucker got rich off the backs of the people that he's calling criminals. This is where we are, people. You got the NAACP and all these other people coming out saying all of this shit about, man, well, he needs to offer an apology. Why the fuck ain't nobody canceling Tommy Tubberville? Why the fuck ain't nobody sending fucking letters there and say, you know what? This motherfucker needs to be canceled. You big ear bastard. No one is saying Tommy Tubberville needs to be fucking canceled. But he got rich off of the backs of black kids, man, at Auburn University. Nick Saban ain't never came out and said no fuck shit like that. This is what people have to understand. Donald Trump, when he made the ridiculous statements about that of Colin Kaepernick, he came to the state of Alabama. Colin Kaepernick got canceled, people. He lost his fucking job. And he was a good quarterback. Do you all not see and understand what it is we're dealing with? That's why this is a fucking special show. And I told you we stepping on some toes this morning. And it's supposed to be painful. And this is what I'm saying. Only when black people come out and they say things, they're canceled. Tommy Tubberville is still in the Senate. He hadn't offered no apology. He hadn't even come out and explain what the fuck he's talking about. Reparation? So the United States corporation is against paying black people reparations. It's a lot of shit I know, a lot of shit I can fucking say that I ain't gonna say it. But this motherfucker, Tommy Tubberville, came out and said this shit about black folks, the Democrats and black people. Black people primarily vote Democrat. And he's saying the Democrats allow black folks to be criminals. And they want reparation. And they want to take from you what you got. How the fuck did your ancestors, you colonizer, you big ear bastard, you Tommy Tubberville, how the fuck did you all get what you got? I have not seen not one black person came out and said that they wanted to take anything from white folks or take anything back. We've asked for our fair share. And you, Tommy Tubberville, you got rich off of the backs of black athletes. And a lot of those black athletes that you are calling criminal or criminals, they came from abject poverty. They didn't know where their next meal was coming from. In collegiate football today, D1 school, they have what's called NIL deals. Back when Tubberville was coaching, whatever money those athletes got, it was under the table. And Tubberville came out and said this shit about black people being criminals. This lets you know, as they say, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. This lets you know what type of person he was all along. This is why I say there's no getting along with motherfuckers like Tommy Tubberville. He couldn't offer me a goddamn apology. Stick that apology up your ass. That's what you do. There's nothing you could ever possibly say to me that we would be friends. Nothing. That is one of the most odious things to say about a race of people. This motherfucker ain't counselor. And this is what folks have to understand. The First Amendment only works for the establishment. The people who are the beneficiaries of colonization. Let's play this clip by Tubberville.
They're soft on crime. No, they're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Bullshit. They are not owed that.
This is the senator of the state of Alabama. I'm going to play it one more time.
They're soft on crime. No, they're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Bullshit. They are not owed that.
Tommy Tubberville got rich off of the backs of those black athletes that he called criminals and their parents. This man is afforded a life of luxury off of the very people that he called criminals. Why he's not counseled? Huh? Why the Republican Party has said, you know what, man, that shit is over the top. That is the straw that breaks the camel's back at this point. This man had come out and said nothing about the coming. And he did it at a Donald Trump rally. A man that called a goddamn insurrection against the very country that he took an oath to protect because he didn't like the results of the election. Tommy Tubberville, and these are the criminals that paint black folks as criminals. That's why I'm doing this show here today. Ain't no breaking bread with you all, man. You can't say a fucking thing to me about nothing. You call me a goddamn criminal. You call my race a criminal. You have a problem making something right that you all made wrong. But God see what you're doing. And he's going to hold you and your ancestors, your kids, your seed, and this country accountable for that shit. He ain't forgot about it. This is why he says, one day to the Lord, 1,000 years, 1,000 years is one day to the Lord. So he ain't forgot about it. We're in a sad state of affairs, people. And this is why everybody should turn off them goddamn TVs and reconstruct your mind, listen to the Chris Miles show and everybody else out there that's putting out tangible goddamn information to fight this bullshit. Because that's what it is, it's bullshit. It's the Matrix. It's a misnomer of information and facts. That's what it is. A man that made millions of dollars off of the backs of blacks and these kids, he said, we want reparations. We want something for nothing. We're criminals. And the Democratic Party condones the criminology of things pertaining to black people. They condone it. They with it. They for it. That's what this man said. A man, once again, that got rich off of black folks. Kids going up there playing ball. And he went to a rally of a man that said he grabbed women in the pussy that caused an insurrection against the very government he took an oath to protect and tried to have this black girl and her mother destroyed in the state of Georgia, in Atlanta, and went and got an imbecile, a non-talking dumb motherfucker like Herschel Walker, who has paid for abortions, but they're against abortions, and told him to run for Senate in the state of Georgia so they can put black folks back in chattel slavery. That's what this is about, people. Now you see why I was targeted. That's why. Because nobody talks like I do, and nobody tells the truth like I do. And the truth, as I said and stated before, doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. And if you all do not like the content of what I'm saying, change the subject matter. The problem is fixable, but you have to fix it. Black folks can't fix it. You all have to fix it because it's your system. It's your system. I'm waiting for Tommy Tubberville and the rest of these folks that get out here and say all of these asinine things about black folks to be canceled. When is that going to happen? Because according to Tommy Tubberville, if you're inarticulate like Herschel Walker, then you're fine. But if you like me or some other black person out there that strives to be above the fray, then you're a criminal. That is so insulting. But it's the reality of what we are. And this is what I'm saying. America hasn't changed, man. It's the same. The people that colonize this place, who stole land, who's the direct beneficiaries of the criminal activity that their grandparents did, that's Tommy Tubberville, who's now labeling all black folks to be criminals. And we want something for nothing. America was not built on the backs of immigrants. That's a fucking lie. It was built on the backs of my ancestors and my people. But we're criminals. You all think about that. And let me just say this in closing. I'm asking because of what Tommy Tubberville said, I want black people to consider not allowing your kids to go play ball at Auburn University until Tommy Tubberville apologized for what the fuck he said. When Tommy Tubberville can come out, then black people, you know what? Listen, everything I hear in society is based off of commerce. You all do not understand commerce. I agree. All of you, everything should not be based upon you vote blue. It should be based upon, guess what? What are you going to do for my community? How can I and my family create wealth by me voting for you? That's what this shit is about. That's why the NIL deal is important. Everything's about commerce. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. And that is why I want to see other black kids go to HBCUs. We need more guys in the NFL, black guys that played with Deion Sanders or something. We need you all to go coach these HBCUs. And we need our kids to go to our schools. It is time to change the money structure of how we conduct business with the establishment in this place. Because we see all the shit is about us. And they have no problem canceling when we come out to say things that are uplifting for our community. But if I want to come out and I want to call black women bitches and hoes and tell black men to go snort heroin or shoot up heroin or, use some drug or some evil shit, they promote that. It's time to change the dynamics. And this is why, like I say, what Deion is doing at Jackson State is important, because it is time for us to do for self and to separate ourselves from the people that destroy us. Thank you for listening to the show. This is a special show, episode 39 of the Chris Miles Show. Everybody enjoy your day.
Hurry up. It's the Chris Miles Show, giving you a logical perspective, an intelligent point of view. The full 411. Live from